Hi, I'm Brandon, and today I'm taking a look at the interrogation of this guy here. He is an elementary school teacher in Florida. His name is Julio Soto, and well, he's been accused of some very bad things. So let's take a look at this article here just so we can get a bit of a background. It says Julio Soto taught at Castle Creek Elementary School. Is it Soto or Sato? I'm not sure. Either way, he appeared before a judge on Saturday. I think this is back in 2019, so it's a little bit old. He is charged with one count of touching a child under the age of 12. According to the arrest affidavit last week, some students at the school told an assistant principal their friend claimed to have been touched by Soto. The school resource officer said when he spoke with the alleged victim, she said that the teacher had touched her in places where she didn't want to be touched. In an interview with detectives the next day, the girl said on February 13th that the teacher came to her classroom to fix her test. She said he told her he was going to try and find her tickle spot, then proceeded to place his hand under her bra. That is very, very disturbing. She said that Soto rubbed her there on her chest with the palm of his hands for approximately 4 to 5 seconds. She apparently told him to stop, but a minute later, he again placed his hand under her shirt and did it again. The arrest affidavit also says potential additional victims who are currently students of Soto's have been identified and that the investigation is ongoing. Soto's... I'm kind of jumping back and forth between Soto and Sato. Someone please clarify that for me. His attorney argued for him to be released on bond, stressing that he is active in the military in the Army Reserves, and he was scheduled to be deployed soon, but the judge ordered him to be kept behind bars. Yeah, we don't need him fleeing the country. School officials sent out 2 recorded messages to parents, one on Friday, informing them that the teacher had been placed on administrative leave, and another Sunday night warning them of the potential presence of media outside the school. The school district said that Soto had taught at Castle Creek Elementary School since 2015. All right, so that's what's going on. Let's head over to the interrogation room and see what happens there.
You normally take 3 to 4 kids. What happened this time?
This time it was just her. You know, she was asking me because she goes, I was concerned about Friday because you're going to meet my mommy and all this stuff. And I said, okay, I wasn't even thinking.
But why?
What do you mean why?
Well, if you're going to take a female student to your classroom, you didn't think to let me just grab another.
And honestly, I just wanted to get her work done, get her, and then.
So does the school have a rule against like a teacher being alone with like one single student? I don't know, do all schools have that? I have no idea what the rule is, but I think that's what that cop is asking. It's like, why, if you're going to be alone with her, why didn't you bring another student?
Go back to specials. I'm doing great. So, and like I said, that's my bad.
That's my bad? You've been arrested. You're being interrogated for committing a horrible crime against students. That's a little bit more than my bad. That's not the kind of thing that you can just screw up a little bit on. This is a pretty horrendous consequence.
No, she's at the farther point.
Okay.
But she's facing me, so that way if she calls me, it's like I can look up at her without walking over because I'm doing my grades on my computer.
While she was sitting at the U-shape or kidney table, did you walk over to check on her?
And not until she said something about her wrist or her arm.
And what did she say about her arm?
That she started tearing up, and then she started complaining about her arm. I was like, you said you were fine, and she goes, well, it started hurting me, it's like did you, so I walked over, and I said, and I asked her, can I touch your arm?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, so I kind of held her like this, one hand here, one hand here.
Okay.
And so I looked at it, it's like, is your wrist hurting?
Okay.
And she goes, no, it's not my wrist. I said, so I pointed like this.
Was he a gym teacher? I'm not sure, but like what training does he have to be examining injuries on a child? Like, shouldn't he just send them to the infirmary if they have like a school nurse, or if not to like a doctor, or contact the parents or something? Like, why are you grabbing her arm yourself?
I said, is your forearm hurting? She said, yeah, that's where it hurts. I said, well, did you tell your mom and dad? And she goes, yeah. And then I go, what did mom and dad say? She goes, nothing.
They said nothing?
When you had...
Mom, Dad, my arm really hurts. And they just stare straight ahead at the TV, ignoring her. Sounds weird.
And was she the only one in the classroom with you at the time? Do you normally take kids in the classroom?
No, that's what I was telling them. Normally I try to get a couple of kids. And I was just, It was just,
Is that like
No.
policy?
So normally you don't do it. Normally you don't go alone with a student into a classroom. But this one time that you did, she reported you touching her inappropriately. Now you're under arrest. Maybe that's the reason, if he's claiming to be innocent, which I'm assuming he is, maybe that's the reason they have that rule, is to protect the student, but to also protect the teacher against unwanted accusations. But the fact that you took her alone in that room when you normally don't do that, and like, why would she make up a lie like that? So we'll keep going here. I'm new to this case, so I'm learning as I go. Other people might have seen it. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to be starting and stopping this constantly if you haven't noticed already. So if you want to watch this without me constantly talking over it, it's available on other places online, on YouTube and whatever. So if you want to hear my commentary, then let's continue.
Or is that common practice, or what is that?
It's probably common practice. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it is written somewhere.
It's probably common practice. It's probably written somewhere. You mean like a rule book? If schools have rules to protect children, it's probably not just, it's probably written down somewhere. I'm sure someone jotted the laws down somewhere on a notepad. Well, like, no, it's they probably went over this when you were hired. It's probably well known.
But if you're going to bring a student back to your classroom, you always bring at least, if there's another adult there, or if not an adult, then you're supposed to bring a couple of kids.
And why didn't you on that day?
I wasn't even thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I said, that's my bad. I'll get if I get a count statement from the school, that's fine. All I do was trying to.
Just thinking about his excuse again. That'd be like, you ask a judge, like, what's the law? What's the law say regarding such and such a matter? And he's just like, I don't know. It's probably written down somewhere. Like, well, I hope so. Otherwise, it's not a rule.
I knew your parents were coming. I just wanted her to get this stuff done, and then that was it.
Well, basically, you brought her up just to do the work, correct?
Correct, yes.
What is that thing that's on your door? It's like a black cover. What is it for?
Oh, that's for active assailants.
Do you normally have yours drawn?
It's always up.
Okay. It's always up?
Yeah, unless we have an active assailants and we put it down, or when the kids play with it after school.
Do you?
Because it's only taped.
Okay. Do you ever have yours up for like your planning period where you don't want to be bothered? So yours is always up?
Yeah.
So he has some kind of a cover, like a blind that you pull down so you can't see into the classroom, I guess for emergencies. Just the fact that this cop's asking about it, I'm guessing when he brought the girl into his classroom, he closed that? Is that, so if he did, that's very alarming.
Is there any reason why it would have been down that day?
Like I said, it's only held by tape. Masking tape.
That's not what he asked.
So if you're in the classroom with the student
Mm-hmm.
and you notice it's down, would you have fixed it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You didn't notice it was down?
No. It should have been down.
Now, I'm going to clarify something. You said when you guys went down to the park, or not the park, but the basketball courts, right?
Yes.
For specials.
For specials, yes.
Went down for specials. She was stuck to you like glue. She just followed you around. Or she just stood in one spot?
She just stood there.
Okay, she stood in one spot.
Those are two different things. Followed him around like glue or stood in one spot? What? Is that cop confused? I don't get that.
She stood in one spot for how long?
A couple of minutes until the coach came.
Okay. I reviewed the school video that day.
Okay.
First thing, she was in a sling. She was in a sling and she was sitting on the bench. She was sitting on the bench next to a little boy. I don't know who he is, but she was sitting
On that Wednesday?
Wait a minute. If her arm was in a sling and she was complaining it hurt, why would he grab her arm and start like grabbing the wrist and the bicep to see where it hurt? Like the fact that it's in a sling should mean there's already an injury and it probably hurts.
Yes.
No.
I'm literally telling you. I'm going to tell you what
He's like, no. Cop's like, no, I'm just telling you what I saw in the video.
I saw on the school video. She was sitting on the bench with that little boy. She had a sling on her arm. She had a band around her hair, had this big ponytail. I see you come down with your class.
Mm-hmm.
Your class sits. You just walk around for a little bit. You then walk over directly to her. You have some type of conversation. I don't know what the conversation was about. After you have the conversation, she gets up. You guys walk up that stairwell.
The side stairwell, yes.
Walk up the side stairwell, proceed to the second floor.
Yes.
She had a sling on.
I honestly don't remember the sling.
Okay.
I knew it was the week before, but
She had a sling on that day.
Okay, if she was alone with you, and said her arm hurt, and you were touching her arm to see if or where it hurt, you would notice if that arm was in a sling. It's pretty obvious.
She had a full sling on. Her arm was completely wrapped. Do you remember what the conversation was with her that day?
Or okay, this is a different day. Okay, sorry, I'm getting my timeline confused here.
no. Probably Mom.
Probably Mom.
Probably Mom.
When you guys got up to the classroom,
Mhm.
if she had a sling on, why would her arm be out of the sling?
Because she...
Okay, maybe. Oy. I wish they would give me some notes or something as I try to figure this out as I as I go along. See, sometimes I like to watch these beforehand, but I rarely do, because I kind of like to deal with things as they come. Because I just think that makes it for a interesting commentary, but also kind of makes it confusing sometimes. But okay, so maybe she did have the sling on that day.
been taking it off the week before. I yelled at her a couple times.
So she would have taken it off.
Oh, yeah.
Why were you yelling at her?
If she would have
Yeah.
taken it off and put it on the table, or...
I didn't, and I'm telling you the truth, I don't remember it,
Okay. You don't remember what part?
what you just told me.
Okay.
The whole part.
You don't remember her having a sling?
Not that day.
Do you remember the accident that happened that Monday?
So when that cop just said he watched the video of her sitting next to that boy and her arm was in a sling, was that a different day than the day in question when she was touched? Because if they have video of her with a sling, this guy is kind of foolish to deny it because they have ample proof. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Accident.
The accident that happened to her, that caused her to get...
Oh, no, that was during drama class.
Okay, so that was during drama class.
Yes.
What kind of rough drama classes are they doing?
That Tuesday she would have been in your class. Did you notice she had that sling on?
I honestly thought it was the week before.
Okay. Well, it is the week of possibly February 13th.
Okay.
February 13th, which would have been that Wednesday.
Okay.
You said that before specials, she stayed upstairs for a minute. You guys talked. She asked if she can come to your class. She proceeded to come down to the specials area with you.
Right.
And then she went back up.
Right.
The video never shows her coming downstairs with you. It shows you walking down with your class and she's already down there.
Not that same day.
Julio, hang on, because what I don't want to happen is for us to...
This guy, he's either like just delusional or he's just so good at denying things. Because like, how could you deny something that they have the security video of? Like, it clearly shows that.
go down a path that we can't recover from.
Right.
Okay. So the video that my partner's talking about, I watched the same video.
Okay.
So you have two different people watching the same video. Right. And it shows...
I mean, it doesn't really matter how many people are watching the video. It either shows what they said or it doesn't. Doesn't matter. It's not like it's open to opinion. Unless you can't tell who it is in the video, maybe if it's someone else. But it shows what it shows.
Her class downstairs already, and she's sitting on a bench, okay, talking to another student. You come down with your class and you approach her at the bench. Now you remember taking her to the classroom to do work, and
Right.
you remember specific details about her arm was hurting, and you went over to her and you were like, let me see, and you were like touching her.
So just already if I'm understanding the basics correctly here, like it was like she wasn't even in his class. He came down with another class, saw her sitting there, singled her out for whatever reason, and was like, hey, come back with me to my classroom under the pretense of doing something school-related, even though they weren't supposed to be alone with students. So he took her back to the classroom, possibly put up the little blind thing, the cover that's taped to the door, the window. And then now he's claiming nothing happened, but she's claiming that he touched her inappropriately. This seems weird that he just came down there and took her away. I don't know if that's normal teaching behavior, but it doesn't seem like it to me.
Her arm is very caring of you. And why if you remember those specific details,
Mhm.
I don't understand why you can't remember the detail about the sling, because that would.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's like some of these other predators we see that it's like, oh, I don't remember her saying the age. I'm confused about the age, but they definitely saw the address and other details to get there. But the very important things that are going to be evidence of their guilt, they seem to not remember those details. So this cop's kind of calling him out on it.
Explain why
When-
her arm was
Right,
hurting.
but when I went over there was nothing on her arm.
But even if she didn't have that sling on, her arm would have still been wrapped. The arm was basically,
But it was bare.
her arm was, in this video, her arm wasn't there.
Right, but when she came to the classroom, it was bare.
So she would have had to take that off as she walked up with you, because on video, you walk in front of her, you go around the stairs. So these are the stairs.
Right.
You know how you walk in the door?
Mhm.
You got to turn around, right?
Right.
To walk up the stairs. You're in front of her. She's on your left-hand side. Her arm is completely slinged. I see her go past the video with a sling on her arm.
Yeah, that's a pretty, like, if he's lying about this or he can't remember, he's not saying he can't remember if she had a sling or not. He's saying there was no sling. Her arm was bare. And the cop's like, no, in the video, she was right next to you with her arm in a sling and wrapped. So either she took it off between that point and the classroom, or he did. Is that correct?
And you continue to walk up. You walk on the right side, she walks on the left.
Okay.
She had a sling
It's very
on.
distinct.
Right.
Now, after you made contact with her in the classroom and you're touching her arm, did you have any other contact with her
Nope.
that day?
That's it, because after she said that, she started tearing up, and then that's why I asked her those questions, and I said, well, after specials, if your arm still hurts, let me know. If you're in my classroom in the afternoon and it continues bothering you and you haven't done anything yet, then go let me know, and I'll send you to the nurse. Then I walk back to my class.
Why would we need to send her to the nurse right then and there? Like if a student, whether or not, if her arm's already in a sling and it's hurting, or if it's not in a sling, if someone says their arm is hurting to the point where they're tearing up about it, why not just send them to the nurse? Send them to someone who's a professional instead of just trying to assess the problem yourself.
My desk, and I continue doing breaks.
If I'm a student in your class and I came up to you and I told you my arm hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and I begin to tear up, what would you do?
I think he's kind of starting to repeat what I just did.
Well, not at that moment before school. The nurse is not there yet, so I'd say, well, sit down.
Well, this is during specials. I'm in your classroom, my arm is hurting, I'm tearing up. What?
Yeah, wouldn't the nurse arrive at the time that school starts? Like, I don't think they would come in later in the day, because they would be there when the students are there, wouldn't they?
Would you do?
I said, I'll give them a choice. You want to go to the nurse, and then if they say yes or no, then if it's yes, then I'll send them to the nurse.
If they say no,
Then I don't.
you don't try to make contact with the parents to let them know.
Well, the parent already knows.
That's what a student's telling you.
Correct.
But we don't know if the parent knows.
That's true.
So I'm just trying to figure out what was your mindset that day if my arm is hurting and I'm just a student in your class and I'm tearing up and I'm just like, hey, my arm hurts.
Right.
And I'm showing you my arm hurts. And I refuse to go to the nurse. Wouldn't you make a notification to take liability off the school?
True.
But did that happen?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not sure what the exact rules are for that, but it seems like, yeah, obviously if they're crying and stuff, you would send them to the nurse. But if they don't want to go to the nurse, like, I mean, I'm not a teacher, but kids probably have things like that all the time that are not that big of a deal. So if you're just constantly calling the parents to be like, yeah, your kid has a headache, it's like, yeah, what do you want us to do about it? You know, it'll go away, it'll pass. So obviously you don't want to not do anything if it's a serious problem. So yeah, I don't know what the rules say there, and I'm just glad I'm not a teacher.
No.
So, can I ask what the full interaction was in the classroom while she was upstairs after you were checking her
I was
out?
good. Yeah, because then after
That
that.
was it, she finished her work and then she left?
Yep.
There was no other conversation that happened?
Nope.
How much time was
So absolutely nothing happened, and then for absolutely no reason, she reported to like a police officer that you touched her. If that's the case, like, yeah, he also doesn't seem very angry. Like, he seems a bit calm, and I get it. That's not an evidence of guilt, and everyone's going to act differently. But it seems like if you did nothing wrong and someone's accusing you of a horrible crime that's going to probably put you in prison and get you fired forever from your teaching job, I think you'd be a bit more adamant. When they brought up that video, I'd be like, show me that video right now. Like, bring that video up. Let's watch it. Like, I want to see this. Like, I think you would be angry in your defense. You'd be like, I didn't do this. He just seems kind of calm. And it's like, well, what happened in the room? Nothing. Well, nothing. If nothing happened, like, why is she reporting it? It is, I mean, I guess technically anyone can make up anything, but for a kid just to make it up for no reason against a teacher, just for nothing, like this doesn't seem. It seems like something must have happened.
Left before specials was over.
40 specials around 45, 50 minutes.
So estimate or give me an approximate.
I still had about a good 45 minutes.
45 minutes left for specials?
I'm sorry, 45 minutes for total specials. So she was up there for about 15 minutes. So I was probably alone for about 30 minutes.
Okay. And what did you do while she was in the classroom?
I was at my desk doing grades.
Did you ever leave?
Bathroom.
Okay. How many times did you go to the bathroom?
Once.
Yesterday you told me twice.
But no,
You're lying.
Before I went to the bathroom, and then when she was in.
Yesterday you told me, so did they interrogate him yesterday too, or did they just first go and talk to him, and then when there became enough evidence, then they got an arrest warrant or something? But apparently this is not the first time they talked to him.
Then I went to the bathroom.
So was it once or twice?
Once in the classroom.
Okay. When she was in the classroom, what was your instructions when you went to the bathroom?
I said, just stay there, continue working. I'm going to go right to the bathroom, which is outside the classroom. And then I said, come back, and then just keep on working.
Okay. At any time while in the classroom, did you say, hey, I'm going to tickle you? Did you attempt to tickle her?
Mm-mm.
Did you place your hands on her in any
Nope.
other way?
Nope,
Sure?
other than her arm.
Okay.
See, it's not the first time we're seeing the whole really creepy tickle thing from a predator. It's come up before on To Catch a Predator and these other creeps that I've done commentaries on their interrogations. And if he's saying that he never did that the girl's making it up, it just seems weird that she would bring up something that seems to be a predator tactic. She's probably never been through that before. I mean, I'm sure she's been tickled by her brothers or dad or something like that, like jokingly, but it just seems like I don't think she'd be aware that that is a predator tactic. It just I don't know. Let's keep going.
Because she's one of those students that would tell, if I did something like that, I know she would tell the whole world.
She did. She told the cops. That's why you're here, buddy.
So you're telling me if you did something to her, she would tell?
Yes.
So why are we getting this allegation?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
At any point, did you touch her? Other than
her
arm?
Ever.
Have you ever tickled her?
No.
Have you ever horseplayed with her?
Not horseplay, like touching her, no.
Have you ever horseplayed, grab ass, whatever you want to call it? Have you guys ever did anything that would allude to being...
Like, have you done anything that perhaps she mistook for some kind of inappropriate touch? Like, it just seems weird that you didn't even touch her at all, except checking her arm when she came to you, and then all of a sudden she's claiming that you touched her for no reason. It's like, is there anything? Like, what? Like, why would she just make that up? Like, so, I don't know, let's hear what he says.
In a playful manner. Have you joked with her?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys...
But not like one-on-one, joking in the class.
So okay, we're in a group setting. Yeah. Have you ever tried to tickle her in a group setting?
No.
Julio, when you're interacting with your students, a lot of students that we spoke to today, and we spoke to about 40 of them,
okay.
They all say that you're an awesome teacher. You're one of their favorite teachers. They love coming to your class. They love interacting with you. They love spending time with you because you're very easy for them to get along with. Okay.
Then again, remember when I was in high school, the one cool teacher that was like everyone's favorite teacher, he was arrested for doing something exactly like this. Apparently cops, this was like after I'd already graduated, but apparently the cops just like came in, arrested him like right in front of the class, and then took him out, and all the kids were just left sitting there. They're like, so what are we supposed to do? Yeah, I heard about that, just from, heard it through the grapevine. But point being, just because you're a very popular teacher that everyone loves, you're like the cool teacher, doesn't mean you could not do this kind of thing. It doesn't mean you would, but it doesn't matter one way or the other if you're a cool teacher or you're hated. It actually makes it weirder, because if you're a loved teacher and the student really likes you as a teacher, you're her favorite teacher, why would she just make up a complete lie to ruin you for no reason if you didn't do anything? It seems like maybe if you were hated, if you're the teacher that no one liked and you're always giving her shit, maybe she would have a reason to want to punish you or get revenge somehow. But if you're well liked, why would she make that up for no reason? I don't know. It doesn't seem likely.
A lot of other students have told us, like, you'll mess around, like, every once in a while, like, joke around with them and stuff, and sometimes you'll, like, try to lighten the mood if you see that they're sad or they're down or something like that. And one of the ways that you do that is to, like, just jab them a little bit, like in the ribs or anything like that. Well, they said that you call it like a tickle, like a tickling thing, where you're like...
Okay, so he's claiming he didn't say he doesn't touch any of the students. He said he never touched this one girl. But if he has a habit of doing that, just kind of like poking at him, grabbing at him, like nothing really bad, but it's just he's just initiating some sort of touch that we've seen a lot of these groomer type predators do, where they just tickle a little bit, and then it just escalates from there. So let's see where this goes.
Like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna tickle you.
But I've never touched anything appropriately.
Well, we're not alluding to you touching them inappropriate. We're just trying to figure out, have you ever tickled them? That, like, we literally, like she just said, we've interviewed like 40 something.
Like this.
And they're like, you'll poke them and you'll be like, hey, I'm gonna get your tickle.
Right.
Like, why do that at all? Like, why put yourself in a position where you're doing something that might be taken out of context by anyone witnessing it or the student themselves? Like, unless it's like gym class or gymnastics, something where you just like you have to touch them. Why just do any joking around like that where it's inappropriate? It's like, just like anytime you're at work, like if you're the boss, you just shouldn't be grabbing and tickling and rubbing your employees. It just, even if you don't mean anything by it, it's just like, just keep your hands to yourself. Don't do things like that. You can laugh and joke around and be cool with the kids and everything just fine without always grabbing them and stuff. And that's the thing too, is like, especially with students, they're probably intimidated by this guy. He looks pretty big. He looks pretty tough. So, and he's like, a military guy, so he's probably got some sort of commanding authority to him. They're probably intimidated by him. So even if he's reaching out and poking them and stuff like that, even if they're uncomfortable, they're probably going to laugh. They'll do that uncomfortable laugh, which he takes as, oh, they're enjoying it. But you don't know if they're enjoying it. Like, they might be like hating it. Like, I don't know. It seems like it's just a bit dangerous to be just poking them around and tickling them and that kind of stuff. Especially here that now you're in this position and you're under arrest and it comes up. The students say you always tickle them. And he's denying that, and now it looks like he's lying. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see where it goes.
Right, and then...
Right.
But do you say that to them? Like, I'm going to get your tickle spot?
Not tickle spot, but like, oh, we're going to, I'm going to get you or something like that.
Mr.
But,
Soto, I got like more than 8 kids who told me that you said, hey, I'm going to get your tickle spot, and you poke them. Have you ever said, I'm going to get your tickle spot?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, well, like 8 kids... assuming this cop is telling the truth, he might be lying. Like, cops are allowed to lie. But if he's telling the truth, that he's saying 8, multiple students claim that you did the exact same thing. You said, I'm going to get your tickle spot, and you tickle them. So if he's like, maybe I said that, either they're all colluding together to lie, or you do that.
I mean, I may have, but I don't. But I would never... ever, if I had a Bible, I would put it right there. And I'm sure you probably hear this all the time, but
yeah, kind of.
I would never touch it.
Usually it's in the form of, I'm just being honest, or something like that.
Girl or boy, for that matter, in any inappropriate area.
We're not calling it inappropriate. We're just asking if you ever tickled them. So you're telling me you'll...
See, I think maybe the cops, they're trying to get him to admit to a little bit, just admit to tickling them, touching them, not inappropriately, but just admit to that. that you've actually put your hands on him, then it's maybe easier to get him to admit to the next part of it.
Poke at him, but you don't say anything? Because that will make it awkward.
Yeah, if you're tickling them and just like you're stone faced without saying anything, yeah, that would be awkward.
I honestly, I don't know.
Have you ever tickled a student?
Not tickle like a normal tickle.
Have you ever
How
tickled a
would you
student?
define it?
However, like they're arguing over the definition of the word tickle.
Tickle is like tickling like this. You know?
Okay.
Tickle.
Have you ever poked, jabbed, like even a tickle, like even just poking someone in the ribs to like, because people that are ticklish, that would be ticklish, and it's enough to joking around. You poke them in the ribs, that would make them laugh and cringe up and pull away, that kind of thing. It's the same type of thing, even though perhaps it's not tickling by definition. But come on, man, you know what the cops are asking.
How would
Tickle,
you define it?
that's what I do.
Okay.
Just
So
a poke?
You poke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever use more than one finger?
Have you
No,
used
no.
2, 3, 4?
No, one.
Okay.
Yeah, one.
Have you ever reached out and like touched?
No,
Nothing like that? Like on the side or anything? Just been like, hey,
no. They touch me. I already have a bruise right here from one of my
Yeah.
girls giving me a
What? What the hell are your students doing to you?
hard hug.
He just comes home the other day all battered and bruised because his students are beating the shit out of him. Why are you bruised from your students?
one of the girls give you a hard hug?
Yeah, she's a big.
How could a young student hug you so hard that it bruises a full-grown military man? Like, that is one hell of a bear hug.
girl.
Have you ever
Yeah.
have you ever been told by the school staff or anybody on school campus that you got to slow down on like hugging students, tickling students?
I do, and we talk, and that's why,
Whoa. I do, and we talk? Because we've seen that before where some of these teachers were warned about this. It's like someone told them, like, hey, like, you're kind of getting too close to the students, like, maybe you haven't crossed a line yet, but people are noticing enough that someone brings it up to you, like, just stop doing that. It looks weird. I think once it got to that point, like, if you're just constantly tickling the kids so much and poking at them, that other teachers are like, hey, like, stop doing that, it might be a problem.
I tell them, like, the one girl that gave me the bruise over here, well, not bruise, but, like, I was like, honey, you can't be doing that, and because it's at dismissal, so everybody says goodbye and everything.
Mhm.
So there's a couple of kids, one of my boys, Christopher, he gives me hugs every single day. So, so most of my hugs are like this. Sometimes I'll.
And I know schools now, some of them are having, like, they have a no hugs policy just because of shit like this, with teachers doing this so often. They're just like, no contact with the students whatsoever. And I heard, I don't know if it was on social media or somewhere recently, parents were concerned because their kid was like distraught over something and they were crying, and they asked the teacher for a hug, and the teacher was like, oh, like, I'm not allowed to. And the kid was like, apparently upset over that. So they're like, oh, come on, you couldn't just give a kid a hug? And they're like, well, no, because the school has a no hugs policy. So again, like, a hug is not anything wrong at all with it under most cases. But it's just once this kind of starts happening and all the time, and then it's like, well, how do you interpret the hug? Well, is hugging okay? Is poking okay? Is tickling okay? Like, yeah, maybe sometimes it's easier just to be like, just no touching at all. That way there's no, like, how long did the hug last? Like, where were you hugging them? And just the schools want to be safe, because this seems to happen like every single day, it seems like, as a teacher doing this kind of thing. So it's like, and now they're asking, like, how exactly did you touch them? How many fingers did you poke them with? It's like, why are you just touching the kids at all? Maybe just stop doing it.
Like that, or if it's a really long hug, and it's like, okay, time's up, and I mean, there's always students
Why are they giving them really, really long hugs? That's weird.
around.
Have
There's
you
always-
ever received a complaint
on what?
from one of the students in your class?
You know what, buddy? Come on.
Not in my class, no.
Have you ever
Well, in any class. She's asking, has anyone ever complained about you touching the kids? That's what she asks. He's like, not in my class. In any class.
received a complaint from any student on campus?
Yeah, like I told you about 2 years ago.
And what
Oh, okay. So this has come up before.
was that complaint exactly?
The same thing, the tickling.
So you got a complaint about tickling the students, and then you kept doing it?
The tickling?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have tickled students?
No, not her.
No, he's like just in general. Like if you're known for tickling students, but you haven't tickled her specifically, that means you keep like a mental note of which students you have and have not tickled. If you tickle so many students that you become known for it, where the students are like, yeah, he tickles us all the time, and you've actually had complaints again about it, and other teachers, other adults have kind of brought it up to you before, how are we supposed to believe that you didn't tickle or do anything else to this one student? It just seems like you're kind of the guy that would do that. And if you didn't, like, why put yourself in a position where you could easily be accused of this because you're always touching the students? Like, you should just keep your hands off.
So how did that happen?
How did she complain about something that didn't?
And I said, let's talk about what's going on. And he goes, something with the other teacher and everything. I said, well, you can't get upset and everything. And so then this girl, who also has needs also,
Okay.
and she comes over and
She has needs? What the hell does that mean?
and then so she is like he'll do this to me. So I did it back to him, and then she says, oh, well.
In my entire school career, I don't ever remember touching a teacher or being tickled by a teacher. I don't remember even hugging a teacher. I remember a teacher grabbing me by the neck and dragging me to the principal's office one time, but maybe I deserved it. But for the most part, there was no touching like that. There was no teachers, even the cool teachers that we liked. There was no like roughhousing or anything like that. It just seems like that is not an appropriate thing.
I want to play, and she did it to both of us. I was like, this is a two-way conversation, this is a three-way. So then when called me in and told me what happened, she said that a parent was concerned that I was tickling her. I was like, tickling her? I said it was a conversation between me and another student, and then because the other...
If this has been brought up before, like if you have a parent calling the school and complaining that you're touching their kid, that should scare you off of coming anywhere within 10 feet of any of them. If you have to have this conversation, well, it wasn't tickling, well, you're poking them, whatever you're doing, like they're little kids. Why are you just like doing anything that has your hands poking at their body and stuff? Like it could be misinterpreted, even if you mean it to be innocent. Once it gets to the point where there's been a complaint where the kids' parents are like, keep your hands off, don't do that. You should be, if you get away with it and it's like, okay, you're still teaching and everything, you still got your job and the whole thing blows over, that should just be a sign like, okay, like I'm not ever doing that again. You shouldn't even have to be told. It should just be, you should just know, holy shit, this is not something I want to be accused of or have anyone thinking about me, so I'm never going to do it. And he just kept doing it? Like, that's very alarming.
The kids are on the floor sitting waiting for us to go, and everybody's just talking, they were looking at each other and everything. And then she came over because she saw me and trying to, converse, and then she comes in, and then, so started smiling because I started making some jokes, and then, so he goes, oh, I'm going to get you, Mr. Soto. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going to get you. And then she comes over, and she goes, oh, I'm going to get you, Mr. Soto, I'm going to get you. Like.
So.
Just tell him to stop it.
Have you ever received any kind of counseling forms or anything from the school?
Yes, for that one.
For
That's
that?
the only counseling form you've ever received?
That I know of.
Okay. Would you consider yourself to be like the friendly teacher?
Yes.
Would you think that some students would just think that your friendliness is a little extra, a little over?
They can, because they're only 10, they're 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
Question me after.
Field trip?
Field trip, yeah.
Okay. There have been complaints from multiple students who said that they've heard and seen you gesture toward other students making comments about their bodies.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever
Oh my gosh.
done something?
No.
Well, you're under arrest. Like, you were taken down to the police station. You must have assumed it was something like that. Also, unless it's in part of the interview that we missed, or they talked to him like the day before when they apparently approached him. But does he know what he's here for? Like, wouldn't you say, what am I here for? What exactly is the complaint? What did the student say I did? Like, once they start asking, like, hey, have you ever touched him? That kind of thing. Like, I want to know exactly what they said. He hasn't done that yet. So I don't know what to think about that.
Like that. So why would the kids tell me, different kids now,
Right.
all different ages, all different areas of the school, tell me that that's not true, that they've seen and heard you make these comments?
Honestly, I don't know.
So are these kids all lying on you?
Don't know.
You don't, well,
Do you really lie on someone? I think maybe lie about him.
I know. I know.
Well, hold on one second. You said she was lying, but earlier you told me that if you were to ever do something, you know that she would be the one who would just go out there and tell the world.
Exactly.
So why is she telling the world?
Yeah. It's like if I did anything to her, she would tell everyone. Well, she did. She did. So you see how that looks bad?
I don't know. That's why I'm very confused and upset, and that's why I was talking.
You don't sound very confused and upset.
And I was talking to.
but she was one of the kids that said that you were one of her favorite teachers.
Mm-hmm.
She
Why?
literally said that you're her favorite teacher in the whole wide world, and she has so much fun in your class.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I tried to.
So why the lie?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I don't know why they're lying.
Right.
And I don't know why it's a whole bunch of people telling me the same story.
Mm-hmm.
The very same story. The details and the facts don't change. I've been doing this stuff.
But the thing is, like, I guess what she's saying is that a lot of the students are reporting that he is, like, kind of hands-on and friendly with them, but, like, pokes, touches them, tickles them, whatever. But the other students aren't saying that he did what he's accused of to that girl because she was alone in the class when it happened. So she's the only one saying that. So it's not like she has other students corroborating that story because they weren't there. They're just saying that he's a type of teacher to poke and tickle them. Is that a correct understanding of what's going on here?
We're going on 11 years now. And when details and stories don't change, there's usually something to it. So what I want to do is I don't want you to paint yourself as this bad person, this monster. Okay? Hang on.
Oh, you've been hearing that in almost every single one of these interrogations I've done recently. They're like, you're not a monster. You're not some sort of terrible person. You just did a mistake this one time. But like, they're just trying to get him to admit they only did it this one time, which obviously kind of makes him a monster.
I want you to paint yourself maybe as the person who may have made a mistake. If a comment was made, then it was made. We can't take back what we said.
Right.
But I want us to be honest, especially in this room.
Well, you want him to be honest because you want him to confess to make your job easier. It's not in his best interest to do that, though.
Because what I'm hearing, and I was not with my partner last night when he met you for the first time. So what I'm hearing and what I'm being told, I want us to be able to represent as positively as possible what's been going on. Because there's a lot of people who are being impacted by this.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to understand this. If the stories aren't changing, but yours is, that's a clue. I need for wait.
I don't think his story is necessarily changing. He's just denying it. He's basically lying that if he's guilty, he's lying that he didn't do it. He's denying it. But I don't think his story's changing. I think it's like all of them. The more they dig, the more they get out. So he's kind of like, no, I never touch the students. And then it turns into, well, he kind of touches them all the time, but not inappropriately. And then the female detective brought up the fact that he makes comments about the students' bodies, which is kind of weird again. So like, we'll see where it goes from here.
I need for you to be honest with me. If you accidentally touched her, or if you did something in a way that, or reaching over.
I don't think you can accidentally stick your hand up a person's shirt and inside, like, on their chest for 4 or 5 seconds. That takes effort. That's not like you just turn around and bump into them because they're right behind you. Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to touch you like that. That takes effort. That's deliberate.
Over her, glazed over her shoulders or something. Just tell me.
I have no problem with that.
Because that's not inappropriate touching.
Right, I have no problem with that. Like I told you last night, I have no problem. If I make a mistake, I'll confess up to it.
Yeah.
But if I know
But this isn't a mistake. Like, this is like jail time. This is something you're probably not going to confess to or like fess up to. This is something you're probably going to deny to save your own skin.
really didn't do something.
My old boss, He used to have the saying, if you mess up, fess up.
Yep.
Did you mess up?
No.
Well,
I mean, I messed up as far as
What do you consider it that you messed up?
bringing her upstairs to the,
The guy just like slides so he's directly in his like line of sight.
allowing her to come upstairs alone to not bring
Look
up
back
the
on that. Would you do it again?
No.
But I want to confirm something really
Yes, sir.
quick. You said you've never taken another student up there by themselves before.
Correct.
I got several staff members saying this might be like the second or third time.
Okay. So is that another, did they warn, like he says several staff, assuming the cop's telling the truth, that several staff members have said that's like another kind of rule he's broken. So he's been warned before about touching the students. He's been warned about taking them privately alone when he's not supposed to. And he just keeps doing it. Like, he's very confident in his denial. And he's coming across as like, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. Like, we've seen a lot of really disgusting pervs get interrogated, which if he's guilty, he is one of them, but it doesn't come across as one of them. But it is kind of telling that there's been reports and warnings of him breaking the rules a little bit, and he has a history of being very hands-on with the kids. It's not looking good. But again, that doesn't mean he did the crime. But also, like, why would the girl lie? So I don't know. Let's continue.
Be straight with me.
No, seriously.
Have you ever?
No, she was the first time. I always brought students up, but not alone.
Have you ever had a student who stayed in the classroom alone?
No.
Let me ask you this, Julio, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Just hang out with me for just
Hang out with me. Well, he's in a locked room. Where is he going to go?
a second,
Sure.
okay? What I want to make sure that we're understanding each other,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Because I think that some of this can be a miscommunication,
Okay.
okay? But when
There's no miscommunication. Is you want to convict him, he doesn't want to go to jail. Regardless of whether he's guilty or innocent, he doesn't want to go to jail. And you're trying to get him to confess. So there's going to be that little bit of a impasse there because your guys are on other sides of the law. But it's not a miscommunication.
and I have, like I said, multiple kids telling me multiple different things, then
What do you mean you have multiple kids telling you multiple different things? Didn't you say you had all the kids are telling you the same thing?
I'm having trouble with what you're telling me,
Okay.
okay? And that's why I'm trying to avoid you going down the path that I see you going down.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want you, like I said before, to paint yourself as this monster.
He's not painting himself as a monster. He's saying that he didn't do it. If he's innocent of this, or he's claiming to be innocent, he doesn't think of himself as a monster. To be honest, even the guys that did this kind of stuff probably still don't think they're a monster. But I know she's just, the detectives always use that technique. Like, you could be a really bad guy, or you could be out there killing people, or maybe you just did this one crime this one time, just to make it look like what they did is less severe than what it could be.
I want you to paint yourself as maybe the guy that may have made a mistake. Maybe you made a comment. Maybe, while you were reaching out.
What do you mean made a comment? Like, yeah, he's being accused of touching her inappropriately. That's a hell of a lot worse than just making a comment.
And touching one of the kids, you may have, it's possible. When kids laugh, ha ha ha, they wiggle around.
And I don't think he would be charged and being interrogated just for like poking or tickling a student. They're concerned that it was a lot more than that. They're concerned that it is what the young girl said it was.
I have kids, I get it, okay?
Right.
So what I want is just pure honesty from you, because I don't want people.
Pure honesty or watered down honesty, like Chris Urban would prefer it.
And other people are going to review this, okay? I have people, my chain of command are going to review this, and what I don't want to have to do is go back to my computer and say, Julio's a monster.
Right.
Because he's not saying what
Well, you can't really say that. If you don't get a confession out of him, and you're not even 100% sure he did it, how could you claim that he's a monster?
his story isn't lining up with all these individual stories that are coming out, okay? But hang on.
What do you mean all these individual stories? Are you saying there's more allegations? From what I heard so far, all the cops are saying is that this one girl complained that he had touched her inappropriately inside of her shirt, and that other students have said that he's their favorite teacher, but he's very hands-on. He's always poking and tickling them and touching them, that kind of stuff. Not in an appropriate way, but just in a playful way, and that he sometimes makes comments about their body. So that is alarming, but it's probably not illegal. It doesn't mean that he did this crime. Now she's basically making it look like all these students have allegations of him touching them inappropriately, but that is not true. These other students aren't saying they witnessed him touch that girl inappropriately, as far as I know. They just say that he's a guy that likes to tickle a lot. I think, I don't know, these, well, let's just go.
Yeah, let me finish, okay? Because I want, Julio,
And she's just like inching her way closer to him.
I want for you to be honest with me. I'm being honest with you. Correct? I'm being upfront with you. I'm being straightforward with you, and I don't think you're a monster at all. A monster isn't the kind of person that makes people, react the way that these students do to you. Mm-hmm. They still like you, which tells me that you may be a good guy, okay? And
he's one of those likable sex offenders.
That's fantastic, but even good people make mistakes.
Sure.
I've made mistakes, my partner's made mistakes, people make mistakes.
That's the opportunity for him to flip the interrogation around and be like, what were your guys' mistakes? Any of them involved touching students?
Mistakes. What I want from you, okay, is for you to not, I want you to let me help you. Right. Okay?
Oh, shut up. You don't want to help him.
But in order for me to help you, I need to have honesty from you.
Right. And I'm telling you everything that I remember.
But I don't think that you are. That's the problem. I think you want to tell me everything that happened, but I don't think...
No, he doesn't. He's either innocent, therefore he doesn't want to tell you because it would be a lie and he'd be ridiculous, or he's guilty, he still doesn't want to tell you because that means he'd be in trouble. He has no reason to tell you. This guy should just ask for a lawyer because these cops aren't giving up and he's just flat out denying it. Like there's not any progress being made here. It's just the cops grilling him and him just denying it. So like, why doesn't he just ask for a lawyer?
You're telling me the whole story. I believe that you went over to her and the sling wasn't on her arm. I believe that part of your story because you just said that.
You believe that part of the story? Didn't you just say earlier that you had it on video that she was wearing the sling? So are you now admitting that that's a lie?
She was saying, hey, put your sling back on. What are you doing?
Right.
I get that.
But it wasn't that same day.
Okay, but how is it not feasible then that she would have removed the sling while she was in your classroom?
I honestly don't remember. That's why I'm trying to remember everything. I don't know.
Why are these other people then telling me that they've seen you touch her?
Well, what does that mean? I guess we'll have to hear what he says, but you mean touch her inappropriately or just touch her the same way that he already said touches all the students, that is not illegal, just like poking at them and stuff. So you saying other students have witnessed him touch her inappropriately? Is that what they're saying? I don't think so.
Okay, because I want to go down this road with you, okay, but you're fighting me.
I'm sorry, I just...
Don't apologize. Not that I'm trying to take this guy's side, but I don't know, the cops are kind of pissing me off a little bit. Like he's coming across as being genuine and honest. I mean, he might just flat out be lying, and maybe he did it, maybe he's guilty. But I don't know. It's like I'm starting to see some holes in the police's side of it too, in their story.
There's very specific recollection from independent individuals.
I'm not saying I never did it, I just don't remember.
Seeing you reach across and touch her. Touch.
But isn't the whole thing like that they were alone in the classroom? Isn't that why they were discussing, like, are you allowed to be alone with the students? And he was like, yeah, that was a mistake to be alone with her. How could there be witnesses if they were alone? Or are they saying that this kind of thing happened multiple times with the same girl?
Why am I being told by different people?
I touched, oh my gosh.
Why is that coming up? Help me understand.
I wish I could. I don't know. I don't remember ever doing that.
I think that you do.
But again, he says, I don't remember ever doing that. I think if you didn't do it, I think you would say, I've never done that. Like, if this involves, like, putting your hand up a student's shirt, like, that's way crossing a line. That is fucked up. So saying I don't remember doing that is different than just saying you didn't do it. But then again, he is under a lot of pressure here, so, but I don't know, let's continue. This is getting interesting.
No, ma'am, I don't.
I don't know about that, because it's, your story that you were telling my partner from last night is varying now.
Well,
and the story that you're telling me in here
I don't think his story is varying at all. I think the cop's story is varying.
Is that these kids are all lying on you, even though they're your favorite teacher. I understand.
Why does she keep saying they're lying on you? Isn't it they're lying to you or lying about you? If you're making up stories about someone, it's not considered lying on them, is it? I've never heard that before.
And that parental interaction that you have,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want you to think about your family.
I know.
I know, and it's a scary thing, is it not?
And my daughter's the same age. Well, she's in 6th grade.
Your daughter's in 6th grade.
Yes, and that's why.
So hang on. So this is a scary interaction. But I don't want it to be a scary interaction. I want it to be a positive interaction, because if a mistake was made, then a mistake was made, and we can come and we can clear it up.
Right. And
your family can move forward, because this is a very difficult thing for a family to...
What the hell is she talking about? Like, his family's not going to benefit either way. Like, if he goes to prison, it's not going to be... She's portraying like it's going to be good for him. It won't. No matter what, it's not going to be good for them.
To deal with. I'm sure that you and your wife had very in-depth conversations last night after my partner...
Yeah, I think this is the kind of thing that would have to be discussed.
My partner left her house from, instead of having to go and step backwards.
Right, but I'm telling you everything I remember to the best of my ability. If I messed up, I messed up.
What does that mean? I'm telling you everything I remember to the best of my ability? Wouldn't an innocent person be like, I didn't touch her, I didn't do that. The things that you're saying I did not do. I wouldn't be like, I didn't remember it, I forget. I'm trying to be honest to the best of my ability. I'd be like, no, I didn't fucking do it.
I'll mess up. I'll tell you the truth. I'll mess up. Because like you just said, and we do the same thing in the military. And that's why I called my first sergeant. I told him what happened last night. I saw him self-reporting because this is what's happening. And so I have to, let them know.
Okay. And what did you self-report?
That they came last night and I'm being accused of touching one of my students inappropriately. So
why then are her grades plummeting?
A student's grades plummeting aren't a sign of guilt that the teacher did something to them. Maybe she's being abused at home. Maybe she's doing drugs, for all I know. A bit young for that, but I don't think that... I mean, that could be a result of this happening, but that's not you can't use that to accuse someone. Hey, your student's grades are going down, therefore the teacher must be a sex predator. Like, I don't... Okay. Put together with everything, maybe it's a sign that something went wrong. But how long ago was this instance? Like, how long? Maybe it's just the most recent test she did poorly on. How long has it been since this happened? I thought it was like very, very recently. So how long has it been that her grades could be going persistently down?
February 13th. We have your grade book.
Right.
And her grades, she went from an A student, I mean high marks in your class. She was doing extremely well. And then, as strange as it is, right after this February 13th, this Wednesday, this specific date that we're focused so hard on right now, we've been talking about for the last, hour, why are her grades plummeting?
But how could you do they have tests every single day that you could pinpoint it that day? If school is in any way the same way it was when I was a kid, they have tests or quizzes periodically. So they wouldn't know till the next test, which could have been a month later or something. So how would they know that her grades started going down that exact day? You're telling me that from that Wednesday to the Thursday, her grades went down? What is she being graded on? If it's like an essay or something, she probably wrote it before that day. And if it's a test, she would have like it's not. There's not enough information to say your grades went down. Maybe she just did bad on that one test. I think this cop is full of shit. Maybe her grades went down, but I don't. Maybe this guy's guilty, but I think the reasoning she's using to try to prove his guilt is, I'm kind of questioning it.
I don't know.
I mean, 60s. I mean, like,
Well, 'cause
she's doing terribly
right.
now in
and
your
that's
class.
why that's why we had to talk with the parents with the 504.
But the 504 talk happened on a Friday,
Correct, yes.
long before her grades started plummeting.
Mm-hmm.
She got hurt on Monday, so her arm could not have
Yeah, maybe her grades are going down if they are because of her injury.
been in a sling the week before.
That's
I'm telling you what we know.
right.
Before we get to this point, we do a lot of things,
I know.
okay?
I know.
So the week before, there's no way I would have yelled at her for having her arm in a sling because her arm
Right.
wasn't in a sling until Monday.
Okay.
And then the 13th, she came to your classroom. We know that she was on video. You went and got her from specials after you dropped your kids. You took her upstairs. Her arm was in the sling then. After you got in your classroom, we know that she was working on something in your classroom, be it a test or homework or whatever it was, she was working on something. And you went over to her and you placed your...
How do they know that? If they had a camera in the classroom, they would have brought that up already. They wouldn't be interrogating him and going through all this bullshit if they just flat out had him assaulting her on video. Pretty sure there was not a camera in the classroom. All they brought up was, like that other cop said, like in the gym or wherever they were, and then going up the staircase. They have that. If they had the entire thing on video, they wouldn't be arguing with him. They would just show him the video. Like it would be over.
hand on her.
On the arm, yes.
No,
No.
that's not where you placed your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I wasn't sure. I tried to look it up. There doesn't seem to be any news art. There's a whole bunch of news articles about this guy getting arrested. There's quite a few, but there's nothing about his conviction. All I could find was in a Reddit post, someone had like the case number or whatever, and they said that apparently he pled guilty and he got time served plus 10 years probation. So assuming that's true, I don't know if it is, but if he did plead guilty, I'm assuming he was guilty. So I'm looking at it through that lens now that I just read that he probably is guilty. But these cops, their methods are kind of making me mad.
Why is everything else not lining up?
Okay.
Why is
Right.
the teacher, who is everyone's favorite, now being painted in this light?
Well, if it's a completely bullshit made up charge, it's not his fault that they're painting him in a bad light. They're painting him in a bad light for some sort of reason. That has nothing to do with whether or not he's guilty or innocent.
Honestly, I don't know.
It is questioning, like, why would students that like you make up lies about you for no reason? That's something to wonder. It leads you to think that it's probably true, because it's just like, why would a student make that up?
Well, you have to help me cross that bridge because I can't go over it by myself.
Oh my God. She's starting to talk like that idiotic Timothy Kine detective, whatever that guy's name was. Nishki, was that his name? Where he was just saying things like that. You have to help me cross this bridge. What does that mean? Let's walk together. Let's go forward. Like all these things that have absolutely no real meaning. What does that mean? Let's cross this bridge together. What do you mean? You want me to confess to it? If he's innocent, he's not going to confess. And if he's guilty, he's probably not going to confess either because he doesn't want to get in trouble for it. What the hell does that mean, cross this bridge?
I don't understand. I'm not in your shoes.
Right.
I'm not a teacher. I don't live the life that you live.
Right.
These students are all telling me, Mr. Soto's awesome, but he does this stuff.
Right.
Why? Like, why would they be making...
But by this stuff, they're not talking about the illegal, inappropriate touching. They're just talking about the playful, joking around touching, which is not illegal, even though he has been warned about it before, which is very alarming. And it leads me to, probably a lot of people, to assume his guilt. But it doesn't necessarily, they're not saying that he constantly touches students inappropriately. That's not what they're talking about.
Picking this up on you, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
The only thing I can think of is maybe when I try to be cool with the kids, you know, play around, they take whatever I say the wrong way. I don't know.
No, apparently they don't. You're not in trouble for that stuff. That's just what the students say you're generally liked. And come to think of it, who knows how much the police kind of coerce the kids into saying that. It could be like, well, I think maybe he tickled me or poked me one time, and somehow they turned it into, he does it all the time. Yeah, the cops could even be exaggerating or lying here. We just don't know. But that's not what he's being accused of. They couldn't have misunderstood what happened to them. Because as far as I know, he's only being accused of touching this one girl. Like after there could have been maybe other students that came forward. I don't know. But right now it seems like they're only accusing him of that one instance with that one girl.
Well, what do you say that they could take the wrong way?
I don't know.
Well, help me out.
Right.
It is what it is. We're sitting in this room together,
mm-hmm.
and we're having this conversation. It is what it is.
But
what the hell are you talking about?
I'm telling the truth. I've had the Bible, whatever. I'm telling the truth.
Okay, I'm not worried about the Bible. Okay? I'm worried
done
about
anything appropriate to
I'm worried about what happened between you and these kids. There is another student who came forward to us today and said that you reached around and you touched her.
Okay. Oh, so now there's other allegations. It's kind of weird that we're like more than half hour into this and she finally just brings her up. So he's being accused now of touching multiple students. Okay.
So why are they telling me this?
I'm not trying to side with the predator or anything. You know, I'm usually pretty harsh on these guys. But in this guy, I mean, if you play guilty, he's probably just as guilty as the rest of them if he really did that. But there's something about the way that these cops are talking to him, especially this female one here. It seems like she's being dishonest. And I know the cops are allowed to lie, so maybe it's just part of the technique. But like, if wouldn't they have brought up the other students that he did this to, like, in touch inappropriately? Because I was under the impression that he only did it to that one girl that one time in the classroom. He was checking her arm, she was in there doing work, they had the thing taped up covering the window, that whole incident. And now she's saying, oh, there's like other students that came forward, but why not mention that before? I could be way off base. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an interrogator. Maybe someone could explain the reason for doing this, or maybe this part of the story I don't get. But I don't know. She's kind of making me a little bit angry, is what I'm getting at.
Like you said, maybe I don't know. I'm just I can't think of the word. Hypothesizing. Could be, you know, like you said, I could be touching somebody and they turn around and then it just goes in front or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know.
And I can live with that, but
right.
I need you to tell me about this interaction in the class.
I need you to phrase it to this specific thing that happened in a way that sounds like a confession.
Classroom with
right.
Because I think that what's happening is we are so detailed up until we get in the classroom and it's, well, she did her work and then she left.
Yeah.
That's not how that went.
Except for the arm.
Okay, but that's not how that went. I don't understand how someone as detail-oriented as you are.
Okay, but if what he's saying is true, is that he was just sitting at his desk, other than the arm thing, she just sat down, did her work, and that was it, there's no other details to have. If that's what happened, and nothing else happened, he said that he left to go to the bathroom briefly and came back. But there's no, like, what details do they want?
Could miss some certain real key points.
But I'm telling you, that time frame, it's about, I would say about 15 minutes. We came in the classroom, I told her to go over there, get your packet, I sat on my desk and I started working, and then she asked me a couple of questions, and I answered the questions, and then she started tearing up a little bit about her arm, so I said, I went over there, I sat next to her, and then before I touched her...
That's not how it happened.
Yes, ma'am.
No,
yes,
Julio, that's not what happened, and I don't want to go down this road anymore because it's not what happened.
Ma'am, I'm not, honestly,
I believe that you went over to her because she said her arm hurt.
Correct.
But what I don't believe is that you sat next to her and that's the whole interaction that you had.
And I believe what you told us is true. You remember what you told us earlier?
No.
That you couldn't do anything because
Right, and I wouldn't,
That cop is just really hung up on that one statement, and I admit it that that's kind of a weird thing to say. That
if I'm that type of person wanted to excuse my language, cock a heel or something like that, or whatever, touch a student, why would I do it to a student, to a student that I know would tell everybody?
Because
yeah, but but then again, why would anyone do that to any student or any kid ever? It's like if you're willing to do that kind of thing, like your mind is somehow altered or fucked up enough that who knows what you're thinking. So I just don't know if that's a defense, and that's why you just generally shouldn't be messing around with the kids to begin with, even in a joking way. Because if you were the kind of guy that you have never even hugged a student, you haven't even shook their hand, you have never come within a foot of them, if that was what you were known for, it would be harder to believe this. Instead, you're the teacher who's known and even been warned both about being alone, with taking students alone to your classroom, and also just tickling them and poking at them and stuff like that, where parents have warned you. So all of that together, when something like this comes up, it's going to lead people to think that you're guilty. Although I don't think this guy is as obviously guilty as like so many of the predators we have. I don't think other than the young girl's word about it, I don't think there's really any evidence. But it is true that, like, why would she just make it up? If he's a well-liked teacher, why would she make that up for no reason?
you've done it before and she hasn't.
And you have the capability, the opportunity, and the intent.
Right. But I'm not.
What was his intent? If he didn't do it, there was no intent.
I'm not a predator. I'm not a stalker. Not stalker.
You disagree with my partner. You have the capability, the opportunity,
right,
and
so
the intent.
Right.
So you,
the intent,
you
not
did
the
it.
intent.
Well, you
Yeah, what intent?
just agreed with him.
You literally just met the triangle. You're in a room.
Right, but
If that was the case, any adult that has ever been alone with a kid in a room would be guilty of that. Because anyone is capable of doing it. And with the means, whatever the other one is, just being alone with them. And intent, apparently they don't even care about that, because why would you have intent if you didn't actually do it? Like, that is a complete horse shit. Oh, yeah, he's guilty. Yeah, because he has those three things. No, that means everyone would be guilty.
But I wasn't intending to do anything.
But you're in the room.
Yes.
With a child by yourself.
Yes.
There's no other adult present.
Correct.
Nobody really knows that this child is missing from PE or they're special where they're supposed to be.
Correct.
They're in a room with you. Nobody knew this child was missing. This child.
And again, like, in the cop's defense, like, that is very alarming, and that's why they have these rules, so you don't get in a situation like this where it's he said, she said, and it looks very bad for the teacher, because it's like, all we know is that we have video of you taking this girl alone to the classroom, and you have a history of poking and touching the students, and you have a history of taking them by themselves when they're not supposed to. And then when you were alone, she claimed something happened, and now you're in all this trouble. So as much as these cops are pissing me off, like, it's not looking good on him.
Returns to special before special's over, just in time to go back to the next class.
No, she was only in my class for roughly 15 minutes. So,
well, yeah, but you said you only touched her for like 5 seconds, so 15 minutes is plenty of time to do that.
there's still good.
15 minutes is
A
long
long
enough.
time.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you folks.
If my child was gone for 15 minutes, I'd be a little worried.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute is a little too long to be with an adult, no other adults to know,
All right.
and to be gone. You gotta give me something here, because
Right.
you're not giving me an explanation as to why this child.
But there is no explanation. If it's true that the girl just flat out made it up, there is no explanation. There's nothing to say. It's his story is true, and she's lying. So there's no other alternative explanation. It's also more likely that he's lying, but there's no other like alternate story.
Was in that room with you for 15 minutes
Right.
besides homework,
Mm-hmm.
and you not tell anybody. I would think you would say, hey, hey, you want to come over real quick and we can go over some lesson plans?
Right.
Hey, let me grab a
Sure.
couple of students who need to catch up on.
And that's what I said. I said that was my bad because I was just trying to rush and get through.
But look at the trouble you're in now. Like, and the thing is, he's saying like this has happened before, where he was warned about it to not do this. That's why they have these rules. Like, why would you put yourself in a position where it's gonna look bad? Why would you do something that you've been told not to do when it involves breaking the school's rules and involves a young student? Like, why would you just like ignore that rule and just do this? Like, it seems like you had some intention to do something.
I wasn't thinking.
But that's not all that happened.
What are you rushing to get through?
No, just to get through, to get her work done.
Julio, I'm starting to really pull back from this idea, okay, that maybe you didn't mean for something to happen. Because nothing that you're saying is lining up with the video. Nothing that you're saying is lining up with what other students are telling me. Nothing.
What does she mean nothing is lining up with the video? Doesn't the video just show him taking her into the classroom or up the stairs at least? Why don't they just play the video? Why don't they show him the video? Why doesn't he ask to play the video if it apparently shows something that's incriminating?
Nothing is lining up with why her grades started to plummet. Nothing is lining up. I've been doing this for quite a while, and when the facts don't add up...
I don't think there really are any facts. Like, I think this is the weakest case I've ever seen in any of the interrogations I've covered so far. Like, yeah, I think he's probably guilty. He pled guilty, so I mean, it's highly likely. I don't think he would do that unless he just pled guilty because, just to take a plea and get, virtually no jail time, a slap on the wrist. But I don't know what evidence they have other than her word. Everything else just sounds like bullshit. They're kind of exaggerating.
There is a problem. Yeah. You're not a stupid person. You're not. You're an intelligent man, okay? I know.
And yeah, what are they going to go to court and be like, oh, her grades started going down, so that means that this one particular individual is guilty of doing it? How do you know someone else didn't do it? What if there's another reason? What if her dad's an alcoholic and yells at him all the time? Like, who knows? What if they had a family member that died? Like, there's other reasons for this stuff.
I know that from talking to you. I'm not a stupid person.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think the most damning evidence is just the girl said that this happened. And if he's a light teacher, like, why would she just make that up for no reason? I think that is the most damning piece of evidence, is that a otherwise trustworthy young girl said this happened and described exactly what happened in detail. So, like, all the other bullshit these cops are saying is just, whatever, but that's pretty incriminating.
I'm an intelligent person. What I'm asking is for us to meet on equal ground and speak as intelligent people to each other.
And cross the bridge together. Don't forget that.
And speak as adults to each other. And what I'm starting not to get is that you don't want to tell me, either because you think you can outsmart me, which is not going to happen, or you don't want to tell me what happened because you're afraid. So which one is it?
I'm afraid no matter what, because I'm feeling I'm going to be arrested for something I didn't do, and that's what's really upset. And
well, tell me what you did do then, because I'm being told by a bunch of people what happened. So
you're getting told by one person. There was no other witnesses, unless I'm completely misunderstanding this. There was no other witnesses to that crime except the girl. They were alone. So how are a whole bunch of people telling or giving the same, like, corroborating this evidence? Like, they all have the same story. It's only the girl's story. She was the only one there. Why doesn't this guy bring that up?
Tell me what you did do so that I can close that gap.
Right, and I told you exactly what happened in that room.
No, you didn't.
Yes, ma'am.
We're missing something.
There's a piece that's missing.
And it's a big one.
You went up behind her, and you put your hand on her chest.
Why would I jeopardize my job, my license, career?
Why would any of these teacher predators that we've caught do that? That's not a good excuse. Why would any predator do this with a underage person ever? That's the eternal question we have as fans of this type of case. Is that there is no excuse, and these guys are frequently so brazen. They'll just do things, and they're obviously going to get caught, obviously going to get trapped up in a sting, obviously going to get ratted out, obviously going to go to prison. Like they just can't control themselves. So if it's true, if he's actually guilty, that's not an excuse. Like, what would you do that? Yeah, why would you do that? That is stupid. But these all the time. You're not the first teacher we've like the police have caught doing this kind of thing. It happens fairly frequently, and there's no explanation for it. So it's like, I don't know why they would do it.
Was one of those things that it happened. It wasn't like it was, this huge mastermind kind of a plan. Maybe she came on to you. I don't know. I'm not in your shoes and I'm not there. Maybe she's saying stuff to you. Maybe she's commenting to you. Not at all possible?
No. Are you just like making up your own stories now and trying to get him to admit to your story? What?
No.
Okay, so these kids who are telling me that you're making comments about their bodies, multiple kids are lying, multiple kids are telling me that, that you've reached and you've touched them in inappropriate places.
Did they really? I don't know. The cops are allowed to lie. So I don't know if that's true. Like I think it said in that article that other kids came forward, so maybe it's true, but the cops are allowed to lie. But as far as I know, it seemed like, why aren't they bringing up the specifics of these other kids? If he did this multiple times, and this guy is being so stubborn and not confessing to touching that one girl, why not move on to the next instance? You apparently have a whole bunch of them. Why not be like, okay, now we're going to move on to student B, that whole thing, and bring up that. Sooner or later, you're going to get them. But they're not bringing up details in any of them. She's just like, oh, lots of other students said you touched them inappropriately. It's like, okay, like, dig into those a bit more. But they're not. They're only digging into the one story. So I have a feeling that maybe the others at this point didn't happen. Maybe later on they found more victims and stuff. And it's like, yeah, maybe he said things about their body, but it's like, again, that's just inappropriate. You shouldn't be doing it as a teacher, but it's probably not illegal. He probably thought it was innocent. He meant it as innocent. It's probably just one of those things like constantly poking and stuff that he shouldn't be doing. But it doesn't mean that he full on did what he's being accused of. So these cops, their methods are, they're a bit questionable here. But then again, it seems like if this guy is a piece of shit that is guilty, I just wish they went about it a different way. Because it's like that Timothy Kine interrogation where I end up just like almost hating the cops more than the suspect. Almost.
Those kids are lying. This child who says that
What do you mean, both kids? So it's two. Did you say it was like a whole bunch before?
You are her favorite teacher in the world is telling me that you have touched her and now she is lying. So it's the world against you.
I'm just telling you what I know.
How is it the world against him? Based right now, it's just you two against him. Like maybe it'll eventually be like the prosecutors against him, but it's not the whole world.
No, but you're not.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
And there are several students who tell us that you always say, hey, I'm going to try to find your tickle spot. Are they lying?
But
Yeah,
I don't.
honest.
But
Is that one of your
if I say that stuff, it's not to be inappropriate.
And if you allow us to
Like, back the fuck away from me. You're sitting way too close.
help you,
She just thinks she's gonna like physically intimidate like a big military man or something. Like she's just kind of invading his personal space.
it doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all.
And then I'm gonna have a criminal record.
Julio,
If you did this crime, you deserve to have a criminal record. If you did not do this crime, then you don't.
people make mistakes every day.
And I'll be.
If it happened, it happened. We know it happened. We watched it happen. We're not
How did you watch it happen? How the fuck did you watch it happen? You were in the room and saw him doing it and didn't stop him?
here on
Or are you trying to say there's a video in there that you claimed you had another video of them walking up the stairs? I think you would have brought it up if you had a video of him doing it. We could have ended this whole thing 2 minutes in if you said you had it on video. You did not see him do it.
Mistaken. We're not here by accident, and everything is in God's plan. It's by His design. We are all sinners, and we are not all perfect.
Now she's busting out some religious bullshit on him.
Go on.
We all fall short of the glory, man.
Tell us.
Can I have my lawyer?
Yeah, you should have just said that right from the beginning.
I'm not saying I'm
Okay,
making it.
no problem.
Alright, that's the end of it. Yeah, I don't like... That's hard. This is one of the hard... Usually it's just flat out predators guilty. It's so obvious. This one, there's a bit of doubt. The police were kind of lying for some of it, exaggerating. There was more holes in their story than there was in his. But the fact is, I don't know, I couldn't find any... At first I was like, maybe he is not guilty. Maybe they dropped the charges, because I just couldn't find a single article. There was like 15 articles about his arrest, like 0 on his conviction. But then I started looking around. I found on Reddit where someone said he got 10 years probation, time served or something. So assuming that's true, I guess he's guilty. But I don't know. What does everyone else think? This one kind of has me wondering. Like, I really hate to kind of like start doubting what the victim said and believing the perpetrator. And I do honestly think that she was probably telling the truth. But after the cop's performance, I'm starting to wonder if like maybe they're like making it up. I don't know. Yeah, this is an interesting case. Yeah, and yeah, I'm still on the fence about this one. It's definitely interesting. But yeah, let me know one way or the other what you think. And I really appreciate everyone watching. Let me know if there's any other interrogations or predators or anything you want me to cover. And I will see you all next time.